Hey everyone, Miss Brittany here, and today I'm going to show you how to make your very own sidewalk chalk at home. So it's fairly simple. All you need are a few ingredients that you might have around your house. So as the weather gets warmer and we start to spend a little bit more time outside getting fresh air, this is a cool activity that you can do outside. Okay. So to make your own chalk at home, you will need flour, hot water, eggshells, and if you have some food coloring, if you want like colored chalk, but if you don't have any, that's okay. So you're probably wondering why you would need eggshells to make chalk, but here's a fun fact. One of the main ingredients in chalk is an element called calcium carbonate, and calcium carbonate is the element inside the chalk that makes it able to show up when you write with it. And so eggshells also contain that same element, which make them a good household ingredient to use in making your own chalk. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first step you're going to do is crush your eggshells. Now, before you crush them, you want to make sure that they're clean and dried, making sure that there's no leftover egg yolk inside of them, otherwise it won't work. So let's go ahead and get crushing. Now, I'm going to crush about 5 eggshells in here. So I'm going to first just take it and just break it up, break the big pieces up into smaller pieces. Now first I'm going to use my hands to do that, and then I'm going to use another like spoon mortar thing to crush the rest. It does. So I'm gonna just crush it with my hands to get those bigger pieces. Then I'm going to use this stick here. It is very important that you crush your eggshells really good to almost like a powder substance because it's going to make it easier to mix with the flour and the water. So I'm using this. I'm kind of going back and forth and using both my hands and this stick to crush it. But you can use your hands. You can also use a spoon or something else hard to crush your eggshells. So let's see. Yes. Now this part is the one part that takes a little bit long because you might find that eggshells aren't that hard, aren't that easy to crush, especially not into a fine powder. So this step might take a little bit longer to do. But you want to make sure that you get all of those big pieces. So it's kind of starting to look a little bit like a powder, but I'm just going to keep crushing. Okay, so after you grinded up your eggshells into the powder, the next step is to make the paste using the flour and the water. Now, you're going to need about a teaspoon of flour and a teaspoon of water. Now, I would say this step might take a little bit of adjusting to get the right consistency in order to shape it into the stick of chalk. So this step might take a little bit more working with, but let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to take a teaspoon of flour, and about a teaspoon of hot water. I'm going to add a little tiny bit more water. Then you want to mix it together until you have kind of a paste so that you can mold it into a stick form. Once you kind of first get the mixture started, you will go ahead and add about a teaspoon of the eggshell powder into the mixture. This step can also get a little bit messy, so just be careful. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix the rest with my hands because I want to make sure that I get all the eggshell powder into the paste. Also at this step, if you have food coloring, you can add it in after you have put the, after you've mixed the flour and the water together before you put the eggshell powder in. Now, you can kind of see it's kind of starting to form into something. I'm going to just make sure I get as much of the leftover eggshell powder in here. So now you can begin to form your paste into a chalk stick. Now some sidewalk chalk, you have like the big long ones. And then other chalk, like the chalk that you write with on the board, is a little bit smaller. I feel like this one might be a little bit in between. So yeah, I'm gonna keep forming it. I want to make sure that it's nice and firm. Okay, I think this is a good shape, or as good as it's going to get. Now, after you have made the shape, you want to go ahead and get a paper towel. Okay, so I think this is a good shape, or as good as it's going to get. So after you have made the paste into the shape that you want to go ahead and wrap it in paper towel. And then you are going to set it aside to dry. Now, it takes about 3 days for the chalk to completely dry. So you can go ahead and check it and just see, you know, how hard it gets. You want to make sure that it's firming up nicely so that when it does completely dry, you can take it outside to test it out. Okay. So that is how you make sidewalk chalk. I hope you all have fun, and I'll see you next time.